Right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Nick from IPL Radio, inspiring passionate lives. We're a volunteer organisation based in Rockingham, just next to the Commonwealth Bank. We'll be throughout the day interviewing varied peoples and organisations out there. We've been lucky enough, very lucky, to have, I was going to say Kingpin, but we can't say that. We're going to say Deb Queenpin, Deb Hamlin, the Mayor of Rockingham, with us today. Just to give us an idea about what the Job Fest involves. Deb?
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Look, it's fantastic to have everyone down here. 50 stalls on a variety of different opportunities down here. This is our third job fair, and I would just encourage anyone who's looking for a change of career, anyone who is thinking about even getting back into the workforce, to come down and see what opportunities are here. Our city is growing at an amazing rate, and we need to make sure that training and education and jobs are available for our people. So I would just encourage anyone to come down and see what's here. It's a great day.
Yeah, I heard that last year was pretty good, and this year, from what I've heard so far, it's even better. So it's, I'm not. I've only been Rockingham myself for 3 years, so hopefully I've passed my test. But I've noticed there's a lot of activity, a lot of positivity about Rockingham from where people thought of it 10 or 20 years ago, especially in regards to opportunities.
Definitely, Nick. And I think too, with the new developments over at HMAS Stirling, with the AUKUS deals, with the new Rockingham Hotel just coming on stream, there will be some really good opportunities and great hospitality jobs, as well as all the engineering opportunities as well.
Well, that's great. And as I say, I think you mentioned the Rockingham Hotel. Yeah, I did have a bit of inside info about that a while ago. One of my ex-work colleagues, her brother is part of the consortium that took it over, so I did have a little bit of a... But how good is that? I mean, I know we're at the jobs fair, but just digressing, how good is that going to be?
Yeah, I think the Rockingham Hotel has been closed for a while, and we need a good, high-quality hotel and accommodation down here in Rockingham. So the more people from a tourism perspective that we can accommodate down here, the better it will be.
Well, thanks very much, Deb. It's been a pleasure talking to you and just, enforcing what this Job Expo is all about. And I hope it goes even better than last year and it just continues to grow. Deb?
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. I managed to get a Submariner from... HMAS Stirling. So we might have a chat to Jason, and I know you've got a stall here, Jason. What's it all about?
Today we're advertising for jobs in the Navy, especially submarines. We even have a stall for the new nuclear task force. So if there's any questions about our new submarines coming up in the future, we have a little task team there to answer all your questions.
So what is there a general, for want of a better word, I'm just trying to think of the word I need, is there a general age group or gender that applies for these sort of jobs these days? Or like a lot of occupations out there, it's become a lot more open to different genders?
Yeah, absolutely. So submarines now, you can actually join straight from the streets. So you used to be able to have to serve in the Navy and then transfer over, but now we've opened it up so you can actually join straight from the street from 17. And then there's plenty of different job roles from engineering, electrical, officer roles, hospitality, medical, all those types of things.
So, if and this is a general question, if I was, I'm not, but if I was a 17-year-old, oh well, actually, I'd file the medical now anyway. But if I was a 17-year-old, Jason, and providing I had presented well and ticked all the boxes, what are the chances of getting in? Would you say?
Definitely, highly likely these days. The standards aren't ultimately that high. They're still, your minimum standards, maths, English and science. But yeah, there's plenty of opportunities for young people these days. Plenty.
And is it age related or not?
No, actually, the Navy has opened up to, you can join at 55 these days. So yeah, as long as you join and you've got to serve your minimum time before you retire, you can join.
So you mentioned their minimum time. So if somebody was interested, they join up. What is the minimum time?
Okay, so depends. Our trade is usually between 4 and 6 years, but there is other roles where you can just join for 2 years for females.
So like the old days, I know I'm going back a long time, when you had to sign up for like 5 years, it's nothing like that anymore?
No, just to do your minimum, whatever your job requires, and that's it. So you can stay in longer, you can stay to retirement or whatever. Yep.
And the major benefits of joining would be what?
Oh, so we have lots of different benefits for the Navy. Well looked after, all your training is all paid for, free medical, free dental, use of all your gyms and pools and everything's for free.
And if you join up, because I'm coming from a person who knows very little, so if you joined up and you get accepted, what are the next stages after that?
Okay, good question. So as soon as you join up, you'll be flight over to Melbourne to our HMAS Cerberus, where is our training facility. You'll do your 9 weeks of training, basic training, learn how to be a sailor, wear the uniform, march, make your bed, all that type of stuff. And then you'll go into your category training after your 9 weeks, and that could vary from between 6 months to 18 months. It just depends. And then you'll go out into the fleet.
And so you said you go across to Melbourne to do some training. I assume, is that all paid for as well?
Absolutely everything's paid for. As soon as you sign that dotted line, you are living the high life.
So I could cheat about my age. I might get in, mate. Hey? Thanks. Is there anything more that you'd like to explain about the Navy, if you like, defence? Sorry, that we haven't covered, Jason.
Just in general, being in defence is like being in a big family, and you have so many friends and so many people to look after you. You're never dull. It's always got someone to hang out with, or you can meet people years later and going, oh yeah, I joined WU, and it's just a big family. It's really good.
Well, that's great, Jason. You're giving us quite a bit of an insight into what it's about. And again, look, there's so many opportunities. I mean, if you're 17, 18 or whatever, and you're getting paid training, you fly to Melbourne, which some would say is good or bad, but you fly to Melbourne and you get all that training. I mean, what?
Get paid well.
And get paid well. There you go, and get paid well. I mean, it sounds like heaven.
Best job in the world.
Best job in
the
world. Well, thanks again, Jason. And their stall is just next to us here at IPL Radio. And thanks for coming in, Jason. Okay, we're doing interviews throughout the day with many and varied individuals and groups, and I've been lucky enough to snare the DM, which is not departmental manager for those people out there. It's a deputy mayor, and it's Hayley. How are you, Hayley?
I'm very well, thank you, and thank you for having me here, and well done again to Inspire Radio for promoting all of the amazing things that go on in Rockingham. You guys are an amazing asset to the city.
Oh, it's very nice to hear. Yeah, we, like you said, we're voluntary run. Everybody works there and everything that's voluntary, and what is your role as Deputy Mayor? That's interesting to me, at least.
Yeah, so the Deputy Mayor is basically a position in council that is basically assists the mayor, and when the mayor's away I have to step up and perform the functions of the mayor. I'm also authorised to officiate new citizens in the city of Rockingham, so that is officiated by the Department of Home Affairs, and I can get up and officiate new citizens to our beautiful country, which is a great honour.
Yeah, must be. That's interesting. Citizens, what sort of intake do we have of new citizens?
Well, 30% of our population currently are not born in Australia.
I can include me in that. Anyway, but that's still done on the 26th, or is that date flexible now?
There is going to be a new date, but the date hasn't been decided yet.
And on council, are you that's awful. On council, you only have one vote like all the other councillors?
Correct. So every person, so there's 12 of us, including the mayor, and everyone has one vote. And
what led you to become involved in local council? I mean, to me everybody's young, but you're a youngish sort of lady. So what motivated you to go in council?
I'm 42, so I'm not that young. But I've had a bit of a varied career. So I've served our country in the military, in the Air Force, and I've worked in the health emergency services sector as a paramedic, and I own 2 businesses. So in the business community, I've been encouraged to put my name forward as a local councillor, and I'd done that in 2019 and got in, which I did not expect, and ever since then it's just been an honour and a massive learning curve. And yeah, Rockingham's an amazing community. I'm really lucky to be here. Wow,
so you said you had 2 businesses and you worked as a paramedic. That is very varied. What one is you work for the military, did you say, as well? Yeah. So you've had a military and a paramedic. They're different sorts of jobs, if you like. So why the change in that, or what caused all that?
So being in the Air Force obviously was a fantastic honour. Very high, intense situations, the same with being a paramedic. Shift work, there's a lot of obviously trauma that you go to, car accidents and things like that. So after working in Ambulance Victoria for a little bit, I actually moved over to WA in about 2009 and started a business, and I wanted to run my own business, and that's what I've done. And me and my husband have 4 kids, and we're really busy people.
I think I'm interviewing Linda Carter from Wonder Woman here. I mean, seriously, this lady's done it all. Are we going to see you in Home and Away next?
No, I don't think so. I am not an actress, that's for sure.
Well, it's great, and I look. And now I don't mean to cause any fireworks, but it just as a general question, as a mug ratepayer, which I am. And by the way, Rockingham has got a great system with the rates that you can actually pay them off direct debit every fortnight, every month, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've got a function, I suppose. It's called rate smoothing. So you can set up your payments throughout the year. We also have a financial hardship policy. So if you are struggling to pay your rates, the best thing to do is get in touch with the City of Rockingham straight away, and you can apply for financial hardship, and they will help you with a payment plan. So the sooner you know that you're going to be struggling to pay this, the sooner you get in touch with the City of Rockingham, the earlier we'll be able to help you.
And this isn't a paid advertisement, by the way, but I've had to contact the City of Rockingham probably 4 or 5 times, and they've been absolutely more than helpful, the people there. So it's great. So obviously filters through from the top. So I was going to ask, that was my fireworks question, would you like to one day be mayor?
Mayor Hamlin's doing a very great job at the moment. So maybe if she retired, maybe.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's great. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Hayley. It's been fun, and I just wish you in whatever endeavours you have in the upcoming future. I hope they all work out well for you.
Thank you very much, and thanks for interviewing me.
Okay, thank you. Nick here from IPL Radio, going around seeing the various stalls we have here. And we have Leanna, is that correct? Diana, sorry.
Now with the Princess Diana.
Princess Diana. Well, there you go. You're from Apprenticeship Support, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And what do you provide for people out there?
Yes, so we're actually on the Chamber of Commerce. So basically what we do as Apprenticeship Support Australia is we do all sort of things like, so when it comes to sign up of apprentices, basically providing support for them. But we also help job seekers get into apprenticeships and traineeships, so we do all sort of things. But yeah.
So is there many involved in the organisation there that you work for?
Yeah, so there's different departments. So, for example, like we've got a sign-up team that helps apprentices just to make sure the training contract is legal between employers and apprentices. So anything that has to do with employer incentives as well, we deal with that. What else? Yeah, we have like the mentoring team that helps with if there's any workplace issues between there, help them resolve it. And also we do provide women in non-traditional trade support as well. So that just means, because there's a lot of women that are wanting to get into like the trades that mainly dominated by men. So just making sure that they have the proper facilities so they can complete their apprenticeship.
Okay, so you mentioned there about females becoming involved in apprenticeships, and we see it all the time on TV. There's a lot more women going into the mine industry and other industries, of course. So if there was a young lady out there who wanted to start an apprenticeship, would you be their first point of call?
Yes, so we do encourage like a lot of like girls, women to get into the trade. That's why specifically we had a department, specifically for that team, I would say, just to make sure that when they do get into the workplace or they feel supported and they have that support system. Just to complete the trade, the apprenticeship for 3 to 4 years, and set them up for success.
So you're a support network, which is great, because back in the day, I believe people just used to go there, they say, yeah, we'll take on an apprentice, and that was it. But now there's a support network behind them.
Yes, definitely. We do recognise, especially for women, or even like, not just women, but like, all people that are entering into the workforce, but they may not necessarily have that, they're scared to get into it because some issues or something like that. We do help with those.
And how long have you been doing that vocation?
As Apprenticeship Support Australia as a whole, I'm not too sure, but we've been like for a long time in the workforce. But yeah, because I work in the recruitment team, I've been working there for like a year, I would say. But Apprenticeship Support Australia as a whole, I think more than 20 years.
Yeah, apprenticeships I always find are an unspoken occupation that we need. There used to be a stigma attached to apprenticeships. Is that slightly changing as well?
Because some people think that, when they hear about apprenticeships and traineeships, they just kind of like shy away from it because they think they had to go to like uni. They think that that's the only way. I thought that way as well when I was in high school. But there's different ones. Like even if you do decide to like go, you want to work at a traineeship as a business trainee, you can do that. You might decide that you might go to uni afterwards. That's completely fine. It's just more of that's why we're here, to let other people know about what kind of apprenticeships are there or traineeships, And yeah, they might want to try that first before like going to uni or whichever, or that might be the trade that they want to do.
So do you have, trouble is not the correct word, but do you have, is it hard for you to, I mean, like me, I wouldn't even know there was a support group for apprentices. Do you have a difficulty getting your message out there?
In terms of?
Like the people know you exist.
Like the apprentices and what's like issues that may usually comes up?
No, if somebody thinks, I don't know whether I can get support. I'm an apprenticeship. I'm in an apprenticeship, but I haven't got any support.
Yes. We have a mentoring team that deals with that. Actually, our apprenticeship support Australia, we have this team called contacts team. So we call them like a few times a year just to check in, if there's any issues or if they're going good with or how they're doing with the apprenticeship. And if they open up and say like, hey, actually I need a further support in this, that's where our mentoring team step in. And basically, we do like a very thorough consultation with them and figure out what kind of things that they're having trouble on and provide support on those, like ongoing support.
Okay, this is the final question for me. So do you have, at any given time, would you have many clients that you're monitoring?
Yes, so like clients, we deal with all of clients, so both employers actually and job seekers. So yeah, we kind of deal with both. So we also help businesses that are looking for an apprentice to take on. And yeah, as me working in a recruitment team, I've spoken to a lot of job seekers as well, and we're able to actually, I've spoken to a job seeker who's looking for, let's say, a business admin position, then we kind of help them connect together as well.
I'm sorry, I did tell a bit of a lie there. I do have one more question, and that is, how would people contact you if they needed to know about your organisation?
Yep, so our stall is just right there, but they can email us as well on careersupport@cciwa.com. And yeah, from there we can, give you a call and figure out what you want to do and all that.
Well, thanks very much for spending some time with us. Just one of the many great organisations we have who have come to support this expo, and thank you very much for your time. Okay, welcome back. Again. This is Nick from IPL Radio. We're based in Rockingham, just behind the Rockingham shops there. Voluntary organisation, helping out in the community when we can. And we're at the expo and chatting to various stall holders, if you like. And we've got one a little bit out of left field here, which is Craig from Gold Star Transport. Welcome, Craig.
Thank you. Good to meet you. Very nice to be here.
And it's a bit of a giveaway, Gold Star Transport, but so why, a fair question, why are you here today?
We're here to find truck drivers, basically. They're in such high demand these days, we don't mind going as far as we need to go throughout WA to find the best one that's out there.
So is there any criteria, apart from obviously having a licence, that you need?
Obviously, driver's licence is very important, but the main thing for me is a good attitude. I find you can always train somebody with a good attitude to do pretty much whatever you want.
And what percentage, I think you said to me before, off air, that's very trendy off air, that you had about 300 drivers, is that correct?
Yeah, approximately 300 drivers at the moment. So we've grown rapidly over the last couple of years, thanks to some really good, strong partnerships with some local companies in Perth. And we've got some more great contracts coming up on the horizon, and we're just continually looking for to add to our fleet.
So basically a good attitude. Now, what happens if somebody come to you and said, Craig, and you think this bloke's got a good attitude, but he he just has his normal C-class licence, but he wants to get his HR licence. How does that work out?
I would encourage them to go down to a local driving school, get their HR licence. Now, what a lot of people will say is nobody's going to hire me without the experience. What we do really well at Gold Star Transport is bring people in that have recently got their licence, not much experience, because we have some of the best driver trainers in the industry working for us. It's their job purely to not only vet these guys when they come in, see what stage we're at, but also to coach them, develop them, make them into professional truck drivers, and from there, the world's their oyster.
It's pretty interesting. Again, you were saying to me that the salaries, and look, at the end of the day, it's got to be a bit of a something that people consider. So the wages for a truck driver are quite good?
It varies. Obviously, we're not in the mining industry, so we're not competing in that space. We're looking for the people that want to be home with their families every night. Okay. Rough estimate, a guy with a HR licence with minimal experience should be expecting to take about 80,000 home a year.
Now you think about it, that's a lot of spondula, isn't it?
It is a good amount of money, but I mean, we all have families now, so as much as you can earn is good. But the thing is, with driving a truck, the technology that we have these days in the trucks, automatics, air conditioning, it's not much harder than driving a car.
No, that's what I would agree with you. So I used to, in another life, drive a bit of a truck, and I used to love it. I just think it's great. You're out there, and I suppose a big plus is you're really your own boss to a degree.
You are. I mean, we've got an excellent support network back at the base. So if there's any hold-ups or incidents, or they're just not sure on the next move, call back to base, and you've got that outstanding support network always. So you're never alone. There's always somebody just a radio call away or a phone call away. So yeah, it's yes, you are isolated and you're on your own, but we're never far away for assistance.
Yeah, I think it's as I said to you again, back in my day, you'd give your left whatever to be a truck driver, and now it's done a complete turn. It
has changed slightly. I think a lot of that comes down to a lot of sort of red tape that goes into drivers. Chain of responsibility, although it's extremely important in everything we do, it does put a lot of that pressure on the driver.
Yep, for sure. And is there anything, if they wanted to get involved and find out a little bit more about driving trucks, how would they go about that, Craig?
Call me. Look, Google Gold Star Transport, our website, goldstartransport.com.au. Look up our number, give me a call. My name's Craig. I'm happy to talk to anyone. Any young people interested in getting into the industry, there's an absolute shortage of young people wanting to get into transport. So happy to come out and talk to you, talk to your class. You can come and see me. You can have a look at our trucks. You can go for a drive in one of our trucks with one of our instructors. Whatever it takes, we want to make you feel as welcome as possible.
That's brilliant. I mean, again, an industry that's come a long way. You know, in the old days, they used to throw you the keys and say, well, go and do your 25, 30 drops or whatever the case may be, and that was it. But from what you're saying now, support networks and coming out and educating people in schools or whatever, it's just changed dramatically.
Well, I'm glad it has changed, because it's my family that are out on the roads with these drivers. So it's in my best interest that these guys are given the correct training, given good equipment and good instructions to perform their job at the best that they can, not only to look after themselves, but everyone else's family out there. Okay, so we take it very seriously. Yes, we'll give you the keys, but we're also going to give you an experienced driving instructor to sit with you as long as you're comfortable.
That's brilliant. It's great to hear you've got a great support network there as well, Craig. So, again, Craig's here at the Expo. If you'd like to find out a little bit more, I'm sure he'd be only too happy to help. Thank you very much, Craig.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming, everybody. It's a great turnout.
Okay, we're here at the Jobs Expo at the Gary Holland Centre, interviewing varied people, different stalls, and also members of the public. And we've got a very keen follower of IPL Radio with us at the moment, which is Ahmed. How are you today, Ahmed?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
I'm doing okay.
Are you keeping out of mischief?
Well, interviewing people like you can't get out of mischief.
I bet it's different when you're at home now. I bet you're always in it.
Well, that's part of it, isn't it? I mean, we always get into trouble at home. As long as I behave myself at IPL, I'm a happy man.
Even then, I doubt it.
Oh, no. We've got the big boss man there. You've got to say nice things, Harvard.
He probably joins in.
So what have you been up to? What do you want to get out of today, Ahmed?
A job.
Yeah, and is there any particular area that you'd be interested in?
Either the media or some radio dispatch type of work.
Okay. So we had a gentleman up before from a transport company. Is that, and they obviously dispatch jobs, is that what you meant?
Yeah, sort of. I'd just have trouble sometimes remembering the different areas.
Oh, of course, yes. And that is hard.
Yes.
Yes. So, what I was going to say, do you have a time frame here that you're going to be looking around, or what involves the rest of your day?
Well, I'll have a look around at the other providers around here and just see what eventuates.
Have you had many people who you think could use your abilities?
Not yet.
Yeah.
But it's only early.
That's it. We can all live in hope, can't we?
True.
Anything else you would like to discuss with us today, Ahmed?
No, that's all, thanks.
Okay, well, thanks for popping in.
Not a problem.
Ahmed's a great supporter of IPL Radio and getting out and spreading the word about disability, which is very important. Places like here, it's not only for able-bodied people, it's for the whole community.
Thank you.
Okay, Ahmed, you take care, and we'll see you soon. Thank
you.
you.
Not a problem.
Bye now. Good afternoon and welcome back after a little luncheon adjournment for the nice sausage and a water from the Lions, not Animal Lions, but the Lions Club has supplied us with that. So if you're hungry, pop out there and have a snagger and a drink. Now, we're continuing with our interviews throughout the day, and we've got Marissa from APM to tell us a little bit about services they can provide.
Sure. We run a fantastic program. I don't know if anyone here has ever thought of running a business, but I did. I left my job and I thought, how hard can it be to run a business? I came from a corporate background and I was at executive level, and I started a business and fell straight on my face and realised actually this is a different beast to being employed. And I came back to Australia, started my second business, looked for some mentorship, and I found what used to be called the NICE program. And that was revamped and relaunched and reinvigorated about a year ago to become the Self-Employment Assistance Program. And it's a fully funded government program, by the federal government funded, and it is amazing, and I can't recommend it highly enough because I sat at both ends of the food chain in it.
So it's very interesting, isn't it? Because I think when we're in where we've been employees and you work for a company, and as I did too, and like you said, you think these, I won't call them, these employers have got no idea. I'm dealing with these people all the time. I know what works, and you're really, really tempted, no matter what occupation, that you can make it succeed. So what were some of the things that you didn't realise when you started off that you soon learned?
The first thing I realised is that I had no one to delegate all the problems to. So it was me. And I had to figure it out. And that's something an entrepreneur has to do. They have to figure it out. it's a sequence of problem solving, and you solve one problem and you get to the next. But you need to start with a real vision, and having a vision for what you want to achieve, and you go after it. It's pretty exciting if you have help, But I have a full-time job now, but I also have a business on the side. But I am much more understanding, respectful, and in awe of employers who take all the risk in order to give you an opportunity to earn a living and put some ciabatta on the table, right? Yeah, so the program itself is available to people who are not studying full-time, not working full-time, but who've got time and want to start more or less a full-time business. The bar's quite low. There is some eligibility criteria around it, but basically if you meet that, there's a good chance that you could be eligible for the program. There are other things like, needing to be an Australian citizen or have the right to work here, those sorts of legalities. But really, it's about whether you're willing and have an appetite to start a business. And the help that's there is amazing.
It is. It's strange to mention that because, again, I'd always wanted to start my own business, but I remember back in the day, there used to be a small business development corporation. I think they're in the city, which used to try and help you set up and things like that. So is where you are at APM, is it sort of like a similar? I think you mentioned to me a while ago that there is funding available for people who want to start their business.
Yeah, just to clarify, the Small Business Development Corporation are the state government department devoted to business. We train people in business. We get one, Janelle, who may be here today, to come and to present about their services that are free. The program we run is federally funded, but it is, there may be some funding available. So the actual program, Nick, is a 12-month business advice and mentoring program. In that 12 months, you have the option of doing a Certificate 4 in entrepreneurship and new business. You meet with your mentor or connect with them once a month to get ongoing coaching, and then maybe 9 months of income support if you're eligible. And if you are currently on an income support, the chances are you will be eligible for the program for the financial support. But if you're not on Centrelink or any kind of support, but you are only part-time working or part-time studying, you might still be eligible. You will probably still be eligible. So it's quite amazing, and all of that is free.
We've talked to quite a few people today, and the amount of help, the amount of opportunities out there is amazing, and again, something amazing here with what you provide. How do you get your message out there, Marissa?
Like this, Nick. Well, like I said, I think it's a too well-kept secret, but at the moment we work through referral partners. We try to get the work out there any way we can. So there are groups like APM and Matchworks and WorkSkill and people who deliver Centrelink services and through Centrelink. But we also go to community groups, Chamber of Commerce. We go to anywhere where there's people who are likely to be interested, even TAFE colleges, people likely to want to start businesses, and tell them about this incredible program. In order to get on that 12-month program, we have an 8-week window, and we put them through roughly 3 weeks of training. How to write a business plan, getting a financial plan, how to do their social media, how to get their marketing, how to research whether this is going to be a successful business. We look at how you're going to operate, how you're going to keep all the balls in the air. We look at your accounts, how you're going to keep your books. Do you know what apps there are out there? Do you know all the free services and resources and apps that you can get? We connect you with other mentors like SBDC. They have also outsourced to different regions. They have people in other parts who can help as well. There's just a zillion resources. And of course, we connect you with other business owners, and they who are starting businesses or struggling businesses. And what happens then is that you get your instant referral group going from the outset, right? Because if you're on my training group, I'm going to help you grow your business because I like you and I know you, right? So there's just an incredible amount of opportunity that comes when you surround yourself in support, and this is the Self-Employment Assistance Program is one of the best things ever. You do need to be 18 to access it, but if you're 15, there is a workshop for you that's called Exploring Self-Employment Assistance, and so you can access that and be thinking about how am I going to do this when I'm 18, right? It's amazing.
Do you find in your vocation that in these days businesses generally, not all, but quite a few businesses are hard? Is that a deterrent for people who are maybe thinking of their own business? And if so, how do you get around that when you're talking to people about starting their business?
I guess some of that is also around letting them know there's a lot of support for them. But it's also learning to be smart and being adaptable. When I said it's problem solving, I had a client ready to open his artisan 24-hour fermented sourdough bread, which is heaven on earth. And he was due to start his business selling to restaurants the day before COVID shut down the world. So he thought to himself, and we discussed, and he said, what can I do? Well, people can't get out, I'll bring bread to them. So he created some vegetable boxes and put his bread in there. And of course, once people started to have it, he got clients all over the city. And he was delivering because he was adaptable. There's always another take. If you're willing to learn to do things a bit differently, there's always a way that you can pivot your business, change it a little bit, and make a success of it. It's about mindset too. Keep a positive mental attitude, and that's something I'm really big on, especially now, the longer I'm in this arena for. It's all about focus and attitude.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and I sort of, I think I'm going back again a long time. When I had a sort of an entrepreneurial thought in my head, and there's a lot of things that you have to consider, and it's a tough call, isn't it? You can be very good at a job and get a reasonable financial return with the security of holidays, superannuation, sick days, and then you think, I'll go into my own business, which you think you could be successful at, but there's that security blanket that you have as an employee. Do you find that much?
Yeah, we do, and that takes a bit of nerve. You've got to have a bit of boldness, a bit of courage to get out there and think, I've got to try this for myself. I've got to try this. And so also going back to your last question too about, it's tough out there. The question you need to remember is, or the thing that is a well-kept secret as well, but something that's really important is that when you go into business, you bring your whole humanity into it. You bring your weaknesses, your fears, your mental limitations, your anxieties, your quirky habits. All of that comes in, but one thing is true, they're all factored into your success. And one of the things, the stories I heard really drove this home to me, and that is Richard Branson. We've all heard of him, started Virgin Airlines, multi-millionaire at the age of 22 or something. He's in his 50s. He's at a board meeting of one of his own companies. And the chief financial officer says to him, Richard, in the coffee break, I wonder if I can have a word with you outside for a minute. He says, yeah, sure. And he goes out and he says, look, tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that you haven't quite grasped the difference between gross profit and net profit. And Richard says, yeah, I've never really been able to quite get that right. And, Richard Branson's dyslexic. And what that said to me is that you don't have to have it all. You don't have to know it all. You can be, your quirky, limited self, but there are always people around who can help you. you just keep your eye on the vision, have a go. You can do it if you're committed to it and you want to, there is support everywhere.
Okay, I always like to throw a bit of a curveball in for a question. If you were thinking of starting up a business nowadays, what would that be?
I'd definitely be online, so I could have an international market, more people, more opportunity. I'd definitely have some sort of a digital product so that I didn't have to deliver a hard product. It's way more simple. The supply chain is simple. You click a button and there it is. Finding that golden goose that lays the golden egg is a challenge, but there are opportunities out there, and if you can think ahead and think, where are we going, what's the need, and I can do it, you might find that thing. But because other people are doing it doesn't mean you can't do it and succeed as well. But yeah, that's where I would go. A digital product, possibly, but that's because I don't want to be stuck in a location and limited to people in one particular location. That's if you're wanting to look, You're wanting to look at reaching a broader, bigger market and worldwide. But if I wanted to make a change in my own community, that's a different question. And I'd be looking at, what does my community need? How can I connect them? And how can I transform this? And what have I got that could do that? Can't tell you what business that is, though.
Oh, look, that's fine. I do remember ages and ages ago, and I can't remember where I heard the quote, but it isn't, I think it's something like, when you go into business, you don't plan to fail, but you fail to plan.
Yes. Yes, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. You are. I read an incredible quote the other day from a book called The Road Less Stupid, and it was, plan or be slaughtered. And pretty much that's it. We don't realise that what we do today determines our tomorrow. If we're not planning today, we might decide on Netflix tomorrow instead of building our business, because life can be tough, right?
Well, it's been great having you here, Marissa, and it's been very enlightening yet again for me. It's a bit of a bonus. I get to talk to people and I get to learn a lot at the same time. So a great, and if people want to contact APM, I always ask this question, how do they go about that?
Sure. Our website is apm.net.au/self-employment, and you could find all about our program there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marissa, and all the best. Thank you. My work? Oh, you're saying, yes. A bit of Michael Jackson there, I think it was. A Michael Jackson fan, are you at all, Ashley?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah. I'm showing my age now.
No, really. I mean, if he wasn't all right then, he's not going to be any better now because he's brown bread. Yeah. Anyway, we're with Ashley. As I've been doing a number of interviews throughout the day. Ashley's from Inclusion WA, and I'd like to know a little bit more about it. Could you tell us, please?
Yeah, sure. So Inclusion WA is a disability mentoring organisation where we work one-on-one with people with an NDIS plan to work on whatever goals they have and do a lot of community access.
So what specific is that involve employment or other stuff under NDIS?
It can be a whole range of things. So we do a lot of community access, we do independent living skills, we do public transport training, TAFE support, everything.
So again, I asked this, I've obviously never heard of Inclusion WA, so it's really difficult, I've found, coming to this expo, that there's so many great organisations out there that how do people find out about Inclusion WA?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, inclusionwa.org.au, there's all of the information about us, our history, all the different things that we do. We are quite a small organisation in the grand scheme of things, but we really pride ourselves on our individualised services and person-centred things that we do.
So are you under the funding of the NDIS scheme?
Yeah, so every participant that we have with us does have to have an NDIS plan, and then we use their NDIS funding to get a mentor for them where they'll work one-on-one with them.
So would you have many mentors or many, clients or customers? Do you have many?
Yeah, so the idea is that I'm going to be really growing in the Rockingham area. So we're currently located in Coburn, and then the idea is that I'm going to be growing the Rockingham area and hiring mentors and also getting some clients on board as well.
So Rockingham is like a newish area for you, I assume, from what you say?
Yeah, I mean, we do have clients that are that live in Rockingham. We go all the way down to Meadow Springs, but we've only got a small handful of them. So, because I'm a Rockingham local, I've sort of taken it upon myself to grow the area so I can work more locally as well.
So Rockingham local, that would mean that you've been here, I'd have a guess, I reckon you've been here since the year 2000.
How did you know that?
I could tell. No.
I just had that look about me.
Yeah. So your job, did you have to have qualifications to do your job, Ashley?
No, so no qualifications required. We do all of our training internally. The only thing that you do need to have is an NDIS workers screening check, a working with children's check, and a first aid certificate, and a driver's license is preferable, but we can also help people on public transport systems and things like that, so it's not necessary.
So you look out for customers or clients, and you also look out for prospective employees.
Definitely, we're always looking for great mentors to join the team. We have an open expression of interest on our website, so we actually aren't like advertising on Seek or anything anymore. We are just always have an expression of interest open because we're always looking to build.
So are they volunteer roles or are they paid roles, Ashley?
They're paid roles, so we're currently looking for flexible part-time employees. Essentially, we are very flexible, so people can work any day, any time, really. We definitely like to bring people out into their local community when things would ordinarily happen. So, we can take people clubbing late at night. We can take people, on the weekends. We can take people away on trips and stuff. So, yeah, it's very flexible service.
So, you were mentioning about going out to clubbing and public transport. So is it much personal care involved if people are interested? Like, do you have many clients who need personal care and there is that side of it? Or can somebody say, oh, look, I'd like to join your organisation, but I don't particularly want to do X, Y, Z. Can they do that?
Yeah, so we don't do any personal care. There is the occasional, accident and things like that we may potentially have to help people, but we don't do showering, we don't do toileting, we don't do hoisting, any of that sort of stuff. We can help people in their group homes or in their supported independent living providers, but yeah, we don't actually do the personal care side of things. We'll do the community access side.
Okay, so as a lead on to that, what would your most popular, but what would be the thing you do most of for NDIS clients?
Yeah, so there is a big drive right now on helping people find paid employment, wherever that might be, or helping people find volunteering roles, pretty much anywhere where people feel like they can make a contribution. We also do a lot of helping people join community groups and, things like that. So it's a lot of community access, employment, things like that.
It's been really great, Ashley. So you've opened my eyes, like all these people have today when they've come up and had a bit of chat to us. It's a great, it seems like a great organisation you work for, and thank you very much for your time.
Cool. Thank you for having me.
Welcome back. we've had a number of interviews throughout the day with different stallholders and organisations, and now we get to speak to the, well, let's be honest, the head honcho here, Tony, CEO of the Chamber of Commerce. How's it? How do you think today's panned out, Tony?
Oh, it's been a fantastic day as usual. Lots of interaction, both between all the participants here, which is good networking for all of them, I suppose, and catching up, but also for the people who are coming through and looking at opportunities through traineeships, apprenticeships, and all the other different jobs and opportunities that have come up. So, yeah, I think it's been a really good day. Very great, great atmosphere, and it'll be going for another couple of hours.
Yeah, that's right. And this is what number is this of the expos?
This is the third that we've run with City of Rockingham. We did a couple on our own which weren't quite as good as this, so the city's help is much appreciated.
Okay, and as the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, is that correct? So what is your role in sort of general terms?
Well, Chambers of Commerce are here. We're a local chamber, so we represent all businesses in the City of Rockingham and the City of Kwinana. And as representatives for business, we present them with information. We advocate for them on behalf of any businesses that have issues with local, state or federal government and or with other people, other businesses. We also put on a number of functions, not only things like this, which are informative, educational, but we also do things called business after hours once a month. And the business after hours are a great opportunity for local businesses to network and learn off other like-minded people in business. Then we also do 2 golf days, again networking functions out at Secret Harbour. That's one in spring and one in autumn. We have a regional business awards that's coming up in August, which is always a fantastic night. And we do quarterly key business leaders breakfast, which is an opportunity for any business in Rockingham or Kwinana to come along and listen to key business people in captains of industry or people in defence or in any major businesses. It's so look, our role is to connect people and it's to present information and education to small business, well, in fact, all types of business in our area.
So a question I have, say, somewhere like today we've got the defence industry here. Now, are they classified as a business or do they operate outside the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, they're classified as a great opportunity for people here in Rockingham to become involved, especially for jobs, I guess. Defence personnel here are a huge part of Rockingham. And what's coming up in the near future with the AUKUS announcement, which is $8 billion over the next 10 or 15 years, it's a massive amount of money being injected into our local economy. So it does mean great opportunities for small businesses to get involved in the supply chain, but it also means great opportunities for local people to get jobs in that industry.
Yeah, okay, I've got another question for you. I was speaking to somebody before, and I forget who it was, but they were mentioning that the Rockingham Hotel is being remodernised or a new facility. So do you get involved in that sort of thing, or helping with that?
We do get involved in it. In fact, I had coffee with one of the new owners and one of the people who's organising a lot of the behind-the-scene information for the City of Rockingham as they're putting in their development application. So they're the people that I met with are basically the people who are doing up the new hotel. So they bought the entire square meterage, but they're only using about 1/8 of it for the hotel. So the rest of it will be sold off to developers for high density residential and also office space underneath. But one of the things that Rockingham is absolutely a mile behind on at the moment is housing, or residential housing, or even rentals. So as much as they can build, it'll fill up. And even more so with the AUKUS announcement, it's just great that hotel will go up. It's be a brand new, fantastic facility down there. These are the same guys who did who have got the stables in Perth, the Camfield over at the Burswood. So they're brilliant operators. So it's fantastic having them in town, and the quicker that it happens, the better.
And I suppose, like everything, building and time frames are very difficult for us to get a date on when all this may. A few years away, yeah. So, but I think, like long term for. Just even for people on that Beach Street strip, if you want to call it, it must give them a little bit of to go forward and think, well, this is okay. We're going to have more clients through here, and the beachfront, and the business is there. It's like a hidden secret for a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Look, it's the one major north-facing beach that's left. That's in Perth, close to the metro area. So it is a hidden gem. That property that's just been sold, the old Rockingham pub property, that's the jewel in the crown, basically. And when that gets developed, that'll be a catalyst for everything around that foreshore, then to upgrade and to enliven the whole area and activate it. And I guess that's the City of Rockingham's vision, is to activate that foreshore area, because it's our ace in the pack, isn't it? So we do a lot of support with, and we have a lot of our members of businesses down there. So
yeah, there's as I say, you try and get a spot at Lulu's or Chandler's on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and it's really difficult. But that's great for those businesses, and there's a fish and chip shops down there, and also the butcher. So as I say, it's slowly but surely changing, isn't it?
Too slowly. But again, things, there's a number of. I guess I'm in a position where I see a lot of things. Or I know a lot of things are going to happen before you see them. So what I can say is within the next 5 years, all of this landscape will be drastically changed for the better. And I think it'll be activated. There'll be far more residential and short stay accommodation. Right now in Rockingham, you could build a 200-room hotel and it still wouldn't fulfill what we need. And it's only growing. So plenty of opportunity for developers down here.
Yeah, well, I'm only a recent resident to Rockingham. I'm only a 3-year member, but even in that time, I've seen the potential and the vibrancy in this place. Rockingham in general, which is great. So thanks for coming to see us, Tony, and. We're learning a little bit. In 5 years' time, the landscape's going to change dramatically, and that's a little bit of something that we can go away with and be thankful for.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an exciting time. If you wanted to bring your family down here and you had kids, you'd know they'd never be able to work for the rest of their lives. There's jobs coming from defence and industry. It's a fantastic place to be.
Can't disagree there. Thanks again, Tony. It's been most informative. Thank you.